The Galactic Senate chamber fell silent as Queen Zarati of the Velcran Empire stood before the assembly, her crystalline exoskeleton shimmering under the chamber's lights. Beside her stood a human battered, scarred, but alive, Johnson's left arm hung in a regenerative sling, and beneath his torn diplomatic uniform, 6 healing wounds marked his torso, like medals of a battle no one had expected him to survive. This human, the Queen's voice resonated through the translation matrices, saved my daughter's life. The assembled delegates stirred uncomfortably. Humans were new to the galactic community, barely 2 centuries since first contact. They were considered weak, their bodies fragile compared to the armored Velcrans, the density-shifted Chromags, or the plasma-resistant Theldari. Most species questioned why humans had been granted Senate access at all. Johnson didn't look at the crowd. His eyes remained fixed on a point beyond the chamber walls, where he knew Olivia waited in the medical wing with the young Velcran princess, keeping her company as she recovered from her own trauma. 3 days earlier, everything had been different. The cultural exchange on Velcros Prime was supposed to be routine. Johnson, a mid-level human diplomat, had been assigned to shadow the Queen's household as part of the integration program. Olivia, a xenobiologist, was there to study Velcran child development, a privilege rarely granted to outsiders. Princess Kirathi, only 7 cycles old, had taken an immediate liking to the humans. Her curiosity was insatiable, constantly asking Olivia questions about Earth's oceans and asking Johnson to explain human games. On that 3rd day, she'd begged them to accompany her to the royal gardens. Johnson had hesitated. Security protocol suggested minimal interaction, but Olivia's encouraging smile had convinced him. She's just a child, Johnson. She needs friends, not just guards. They'd been admiring the bioluminescent flowers when the assassins struck. 6 of them Theldari mercenaries, their forms shimmering with cloaking technology. The royal guards fell within seconds, their dense armor no match for molecular disruptors. Johnson had barely processed what was happening when he saw the lead assassin raise a plasma blade toward Kirathi. What happened next defied all galactic understanding of human limitations. Johnson didn't think. His body moved on pure instinct and evolutionary response carved into humanity. Over millions of years of protecting their young, he threw himself between the blade and the child, his arms wrapping around Kirathi's smaller form. The first strike hit his shoulder, the second his ribs, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th he lost count. Each impact sent fire through his nervous system, but he didn't let go. He couldn't let go. Olivia's scream pierced the chaos. She grabbed a fallen guard's weapon, something she'd never been trained to use, and fired wildly. Her shots went wide, but they bought seconds, precious seconds. Johnson felt his consciousness fading, but his grip on Kirathi never loosened. His body became a shield, every wound a testament to a promise he'd made without words. Not this child. Not today. When reinforcements arrived, they found Johnson collapsed on the garden path, his blood red, so alien to the Velcrans pooling beneath him. Kirathi was unharmed, crying but alive, still wrapped in his protective embrace. The royal physicians had given Johnson a 12% chance of survival. Humans, they said, weren't designed to endure such trauma. Their regenerative capabilities were minimal, their pain tolerance average by galactic standards. But Johnson didn't die. Olivia stayed by his side through every agonizing hour, whispering stories of Earth, reminding him of home. And Kirathi visited daily, her small hand resting on his undamaged arm, her bioluminescent tears glowing in the dim medical bay. Why? The young princess had asked Olivia. Why did he do that for me? Olivia had smiled through her own tears. Because that's what humans do. We protect those who can't protect themselves. It's not about logic or probability. It's about what's right. Now, in the Senate chamber, Queen Zarati continued her address. The galaxy has long believed that strength is measured in armor thickness, in regenerative speed, in natural weaponry. Her massive form moved toward Johnson, and every delegate leaned forward. We were wrong. She placed her clawed hand gently on Johnson's shoulder, the one not wrapped in bandages. True strength is choosing to break so others don't have to. It is sacrificing certainty for possibility. It is love translated into action, regardless of cost. The Queen's voice cracked with emotion, something Vulcans rarely displayed publicly. This human demonstrated a courage my own warriors could not match. He had no armor, no enhanced healing, no biological advantages, only the audacity to decide that a child's life mattered more than his own survival. The Queen turned to face the assembly fully. Effective immediately, humanity is granted full voting rights in the Senate. Furthermore, I am establishing the Johnson Accords. Any species that threatens human diplomatic personnel will be considered an act of war against the Vulcan Empire. The chamber erupted. Such an alliance was unprecedented. The Vulcan Empire had never pledged military protection to another species. Johnson finally looked up, shocked. "Your Majesty, I didn't do it for political gain, I know." Queen Zarati interrupted gently. "You did it because a child needed saving, and you were there. That is precisely why humanity deserves our respect, our protection, and our partnership." She gestured toward the medical wing entrance, where Olivia now stood with young Kirathi, both watching the proceedings. "My daughter asked me what gift could possibly repay such a debt." The Queen continued. "I told her there is no repayment for a life. There is only gratitude, and the promise to honor such sacrifice by being worthy of it." Kirathi broke from Olivia's hand and ran to Johnson, wrapping her arms around his waist carefully, mindful of his injuries. "Thank you, Johnson," she whispered. "You're my hero." Johnson knelt down, wincing slightly, and met the child's luminescent eyes. "No, Princess, humans aren't heroes. We're just people who believe some things are worth fighting for." As he stood, supported by both the Queen and Olivia, the Senate chambers remained silent. Then, slowly, one delegate began tapping their appendage against their desk, the galactic gesture of respect. Another joined, then another. Within moments, the entire chamber resonated with the sound of 1,000 species acknowledging a simple truth: humanity had earned its place among the stars not through technological might or biological superiority, but through the oldest strength in the universe, the willingness to sacrifice everything for those who cannot fight for themselves. And in that moment, the galaxy changed forever.